John in Louisiana. John, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Alex?
Good, sir.
I have eco science, and on 787 they talk about capsules or something to sterilize people, like it's like a nano capsule or something, like some bot.
Yeah, they say they'll give you pills that sterilize you, implantable chips that sterilize you, put drugs in the water to sterilize you, forced abortions, environmental eco taxes, and now it's all being pushed.
Yeah, and it's like they're like praising China for all their accomplishments on eugenics at the same time. It's just,
and he calls
like,
for a planetary. He calls for a planetary regime to enforce it. Go ahead.
Yes, and how they, and also how they sterilize the Native Americans is also very terrible. And like, I remember in Endgame you mentioned that about how they sterilize the Native American women on the reservation.
Yeah, they still do that.
What do you think is the future? Do you think they're going to try to attack the Indian reservations when they're trying to establish this police state through the swine flu?
They already are, and the swine flu will probably just blow over. It's a drill over federalization and to train people to take inoculations. Thank you, John. Let's talk to Flying Fish in Texas. You're on the air, Flying Fish.
Okay, we've seen this come for years and years. It started years ago when they first started putting fluoride in the toothpaste and in the water, telling it was good for us. And heck, I've been listening to you almost since the day you were on the air. We were in Kingsville when they took over the police station and the whole city there in Kingsville. So
that's right. The Delta Force did a martial law takeover drill 300 feet from Casa Ricarda nursing homes. One lady had a heart attack. The Delta Force was there. We went down there, and the Delta Force told locals not to talk to us. They then went to Alice. The police chief admitted foreign troops were there. We interviewed Thomas Sanchez, the emergency management head. He said, look, I'm a Vietnam vet. I'm going to tell the truth. They told us this is for gun confiscation drills, so when the feds really take over, the people go along with it. Then they tried to bribe the San Antonio police chief. I went and interviewed him. And then the Austin American-Statesman attacked me and said that I was telling the truth, but that I was still a kook. But yes, that's the martial law takeover drills. But you live there, unannounced. Tell folks what that was like.
Oh, it was absolutely scary. We've been listening to you. We've been hearing about this, but to actually see it come down and to actually see the black helicopters, the black bus, and to see the men coming down in their black suits, yes, it definitely did happen.
They're in every town, and most towns take the money. When the police chief said, no, I won't have you here for secret drills to scare people for acclimation, they brought into city officials satchels of $100 bills and said, just work with the Army. Keep the money.
Exactly. And it's not just in this state. It's happened in other states as well. And the difference...
They fired into a restaurant and almost killed people in Miami.
That's right. And it's been on the West Coast. So Oregon, Washington, things like this have happened all the time. But
and then when locals complain, the local news says you're insane, even as buildings are on fire. They quietly lease buildings, blow them up, they're on fire. And then when I went down to San Antonio, because even though the police chief said no, they still did it. And this was in WorldNet Daily. They're the only ones to pick it up. They called the Army and they admitted it. They came up and Mike Hansen was videoing with me, and Mike wouldn't put his camera down. The guy pulled out his .45, stuck it to Mike's chest, and said, give me that camera. And they took the tape away from Mike. I mean, I've had the Army with .45s out. I mean, this is what America is.
But
anything else?
Still must keep your passion. Yes, I think we're missing a bet with this eugenics. All of the famous actors that have the children that are either have autism or have Down syndrome or all of these, they realize they're focusing on just the old people. They're going to go through with every child that is not quite right and take them out. They're going to hit the children's hospitals, the asylums. The next will be our military hospitals.
You're right, but that's only classical eugenics created by Galton. in 1843, that's the public eugenics is we're going to get rid of the retarded, get rid of the old, get rid of the ugly, get rid of all these groups, and then we're going to build a super race. Hitler picked up on that in Mein Kampf, he thinks. Margaret Sanger, other U.S. eugenicist groups, he thinks. That's only one system. The real system of eugenics is actually targeting the strong and healthy that aren't part of the elite. That's why they poison the water and the food.
Exactly. It's because they're creating the fiefdom and the serfdom. And those serfdoms that don't live out to be their potential that they want them to be are expendable.
Good point, ma'am. Good point. And in closing here, and I'm sorry I can't go to other calls, we're just out of time. Aldous Huxley, who wrote Brave New World, he wrote Brave New World Revisited, but he wrote Brave New World in 1933. Before he died in 62, you can just go search the term Aldous Huxley speech, Berkeley, California, 1962. He said, look, this is eugenics. He was married into the Galton family. My brother, who runs the UN as the United Nations UNESCO head, he's a eugenicist, and he's the father of transhumanism, his brother, Julian Huxley. This is our real plan. And he said, what we wrote in this book is what we're really going to do. By 2000, we'll be drugging your water, dumbing everybody down to serve us. Ladies and gentlemen, it's hardcore real. Read Brave New World. That's what they've got planned. Great job, crew.